Here's a voicemail that came in from one of our listeners named Randy.
My question is, I'm 60 years old. I have 3 daughters. My wife and I have raised them all 3 in church. The oldest one's 35. The youngest one's 24. And we don't see them living out their faith as faithfully as we would like to see them. My problem is it is mentally challenging, debilitating almost, to think that they might not go to heaven and that my friends and loved ones might not go to heaven. I just wondered, how does a person deal with that and just keep the faith and trust that God will save them somehow. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Bye.
Boy, Randy, I know that there are a lot of parents who can sympathize with you. More than anything, what we want to see is our children loving Jesus. And so when they go astray or when we feel like they're not loving Jesus like we raised them to, it's devastating. I think of the story of St. Augustine in his book, The Confessions. It's one of those Christian classics. He talks about how he basically spent, a lot of the first part of his life, stiff-arming God, wanting nothing to do with the Lord. And his mother, her name was Monica, she prayed for him day in and day out. He says she watered the ground with her tears. She had that kind of agony, that anguish that you're talking about. But she prayed for him faithfully. And it's an amazing story. I mean, he did come to faith in his 30s, but he spent a long time basically running from God, disobeying God, living a life of rebellion. But there's an encouragement there for us to pray as parents. Recognizing, right, you cannot save your kids. We do our best, to set Christ before them, to set the truth of God's word before them. And then we water everything with prayer. And you need to just continue to pray and pursue the face of the Lord, crying out to him. When you feel that agony, that anguish, take it to the Lord. Because as I said, the burden of saving your children, that's something you can't do. So you can't have that weight on top of you. You need to take it to the Lord and say, God, this is only something you can do. Only you can do the work of drawing my children closer to you. Now, as you're praying, I think you want to keep the doors open and continue to have conversations with them where you're sharing the love of Christ to them. You're modeling for them what it looks like to walk with the Lord, to love the Lord faithfully. And that's an important piece of it too. Someone else who can really, I think, identify with you is Paul in the book of Romans. In Romans chapter 9, he talks about the anguish that he felt because many of his quote-unquote brothers, his fellow Israelites, did not turn to Jesus when Jesus came preaching the gospel to them. He says, I have great sorrow and unceasing anguish in my heart, Romans chapter 9, verse 2. For I could wish that I myself were accursed, cut off from Christ for the sake of my brothers, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Right? They had rejected the Lord. He says, I wish I was cut off so that they might be saved. I have this unceasing anguish. And it sounds like you feel that anguish too. But you know what he goes on to do? He goes on to pray for them and to talk about God's sovereign power. And so rest in the fact that God is able. God is able to save us even after we've wandered far away. You think about the parable of the prodigal son. I mean, this is just the heart of the Father calling the wandering children back to himself and lavishing them with his grace. And pray that for your children. And may the Lord give you confidence and peace in him that he's the one who is able, and wisdom as you continue to love your children. God bless you, brother. Hey friends, thanks for watching that video. I trust that it was encouraging to you. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're looking for more great content coming from Core Christianity. And if you haven't done so yet, would you give this video a like? It's one of the ways that we can continue to get the word out. So like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content. May the Lord bless you.